Hello, my lovely hummingbirds. How's it going, everyone? It's your girl Monroe, and on today's episode of A Grain of Salt here on Pop Culture, we are going to be going into a deep dive into the baby of the zodiac, the leader of the zodiac, the first sign of the zodiac wheel. Of course, I am talking about Aries. Aries is signified by the ram. It is a fire sign. It is a cardinal sign, which essentially means leader. Birth dates for Aries are March 21st through April 19th. And happy late birthday to all of my Aries. I hope you had an amazing time. I hope you had so much fucking fun. Everyone tuning into pop culture for the first time, hi, my lovely hummingbirds. Welcome to the glittering, to the tune, to the bouquet, whichever part you want to be a part of. But, hi. I am going to say just a little tidbit about the Zodiac series. If you have not watched the intro yet to astrology and all of that, where we give a little bit of like basic information to the breakdowns of the houses and the planets and all the rulings and stuff, I would suggest watching that video first, just because we're going to go through a lot of specifics and I don't want you guys to get lost in the process. Now, that aside, why am I dressed like Selena Quintanilla, la reina del Tex-Mex? Besides the fact that you should totally go watch an episode of Makeup and Motivation where we discuss what constitutes an icon. Selena Quintanilla, God rest her soul, was also an Aries, and and I also wanted to keep wearing the outfit because I love it. I was like, she was an Aries, you say? It's perfect. So, my lovely Aries, not only are you a fire sign ruled by Mars, which, God of War, Aries also a God of War. You got a whole lot of war in you, Aries, and are you okay? But being the first of the zodiac, my lovely hummingbirds, that means that as an Aries, you deal with a lot of passion, a lot of fervor, a lot of go-getter mindset and energy, but also a lot of aggression, a lot of confusion, misunderstanding about certain things, and also a lot of emotions. Although all my Aries out there probably wear that shit like a fucking shield, right? Their heart just wrapped in iron. I love y'all emotional shit. And especially when you get pissed. But that's okay. We're going to get into why that is. And I'm really trying not to spill this coffee all over my notes. And also, look, it says cabrona pero cariñosa, which is so perfect for you, my Aries, because y'all some little hard asses, but y'all so loving. It's so interesting. It's an interesting mix. Also, my Aries, when you are in a fucking vibe, when you are feeling yourself, because your sign is the ruler of the first house, which is the house of self. And for the house of self, you are very about looking right, feeling right, presenting yourself in the best possible fucking way, best foot forward. First impression is everything for you. When you're not feeling all right and that depression kicks in, you are the king, the queen, the goddess, the sovereign of being in sweats, slumming it. Hygiene goes down, body image goes down. You're just like, fuck the world. Everything deserves to burn. And, I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing the TikToks of I've never met an Aries that doesn't punch a wall, but again, we're going to get into why that is. Another little tidbit of basic good to know, your detriment sign is the sign of Libra. A detriment sign essentially is the sign that your planet does not like. It is a debilitating place for your sign. And for example, which it is a joke of my existence, but we're gonna leave that alone. So Cancer and Capricorn are detriments to each other, right? So when Cancer is in Saturn, Cancer is not happy. When Capricorn is placed like in the moon, it's not happy. And somehow I ended up with a sun and a rising, and I'm just like, no wonder my brain is chaos. But you are also my just an example. My lovely, lovely Aries, you are also represented by the Emperor card in tarot, because you are a leader. You are the first. You are the guiding force to all the other little crazies in the zodiac wheel. Because let's face it, all my zodiac signs have some sort of chaos. And as I stated, you're represented by the ram, which is why you are so stubborn. Pero not every zodiac sign is represented by an animal. You guys will see that as we continue along with the rest of the series. So a little bit of Aries history. It is represented by this symbol in the emoji world. While Aries is one of the first 48 constellations identified by Ptolemy in 1350 to 1000 BCE. It dates back even further, all the way to ancient Babylonian times. However, the symbol of the ram used to not just be the ram, but also like a herder of the gods, and then that got really confusing with the Babylonian gods of the underworld, Dumizir and Ishtar. And they were like, you know what, we're going to change it. This is entirely too confusing. I went down a deep rabbit hole, mind you, because I don't know why my existence is this way. But I have a thing about like diving deep into the different pantheons as far as like the underworld gods. I've always been this way, even as a child. And when I saw that, I was like, I need to know more. And of course, there was juicy ancient Babylonian history tea, because the gods have so much drama. But in ancient Egypt, Aries is associated with the god Amun-Ra. And in the Roman, as I stated, it is associated with the god of war, Aries. And in the Greek, it has to do with the myth of the golden fleece, when the ram was sacrificed to the gods after. So essentially what happened is they went to the ram for help because somebody was drowning in the river or some shit. Ram helped it, and then they took it back to the city and then sacrificed it to the gods. And I'm just like, damn, this is the thanks they got for being a good Samaritan. All that little history aside, now let us get into some basic Aries traits. Oh, my lovely Aries. As the babies of the zodiac, as the leaders of the zodiac, and I know you're probably like, bitch, I'm not a fucking baby then. I'm gonna show you. Calm down. Calm down. You, my lovely Aries, are one for thrill and adventure. And if you're sitting there like, no, I'm an introvert, bitch, you love doing new things, you love trying new things when you are balanced. When you are balanced within your sun sign and you are feeling the energy and you're feeling all of that fire and passion within you, you are always down to clown. You love to have fun, you love to have adventure, you thrive in the chase. Aries, basic traits, gorgeous smile, eyes with a look that can kill, hands and lips that are very, they know what they're doing, is the best way I could put it. And they love the buildup. They love the anticipation. However, Aries can get very lost in the chase versus actually getting it and keeping it. Especially if the person that they are with in a relationship is like, there's not, oh God, I'm sorry, my lovely Aries, I love you. two can't be emotional in this game of love. Or you lose interest quickly. You love the thrill, you love the chase, but you also are fiercely independent. You love affection, being touchy and grabby and all that good shit. But as an Aries, all my lovely Aries also are like, okay, I need space though. I love you. Get the fuck away from me. As an Aries, you love honesty, you love truth. You love when people tell you shit the way it is. However, when it comes to emotions or being checked on your own bullshit, you don't handle it that well, and you can respond either aggressively, passive-aggressively, or like a I'm better than you type of bullshit, bombastic side-eye. Like, that's y'all. You are known to have one hell of a temper, especially if you feel you are being slighted in any way. So if you feel like you're being ignored, people aren't really listening to you, not paying attention, you're not getting shit your way, you're just like, oh, it's on. You want to be a bitch? I'm going to show you a bitch, is essentially your whole mood. Which is not a bad thing. I'm sure it can definitely come in handy. But one of the things, though, my lovely Aries, is that you will hold on to your emotions until you burst, and that is usually what causes the very big rupture of like, you know what? Fuck this, like flipping the Monopoly table over. And since your ruling planet is Mars, well, war is kind of your thing. Aggression is kind of your thing. So is competition, drive, motivation, initiative, leading, and libido, sex. You also rule over the first house, which has everything to do with our interpersonal relationships in an outer aspect. So how it is that we portray ourselves to the world. And oh yeah, I forgot to like mention it in the intro. This is entirely 18 plus, so because we are mentioning everything. So in the body, my lovely Aries, you roll over the blood, marrow, knees, energy, and blood cells, genitalia, neck, and anal area. Favorite parts, my lovely Aries. So if you are dating an Aries, you will notice that they love squeezing the booty. They also love your neck, ears, face, eyes. Favorite acts, they love oral, they love doggy, they love hickeys, biting, all that shit, ears, necks, kissing, because since it is the first sign, it rules over the house of self, it is very head based, which is also why a lot of my Aries out there, y'all are hard-headed as a motherfucker. Famous celebrities that are also Aries are Selena Quintanilla, for one, Jackie Chan, Chance the Rapper, Victoria Beckham, Jessica Chastain, Robert Downey Jr., Lady Gaga, Seth Rogen, just to name a few. And those are just some of the basic, cute, little, sexy details that we have for you, my lovely Aries. We are now going to go into what it means planetary-wise. So everyone that is watching this that is not a Aries sun, well, we are going to tell you for all the planets. So pull up your birth chart, look at where you have Aries in your chart as far as planets and houses, and, you know, see if it matches up. And if it does, and you're like, this is creepy, yeah, astrology, tarot, spiritual shit just be getting real wild sometimes, let me tell you. Now, as I mentioned, my lovely Aries, for Aries suns, you are ruled by Mars. You thrive as an Aries sun because it is ruled by your fellow sign Leo. First impressions to you are everything. It is rare when a person gets a second chance from that first interaction. You are very social to a fault, It's not the easiest for you to trust people. You're really good with analyzing, reading the room, reading a situation. You will do everything that you can in your power to get ahead because you know that you are deserving of all the gorgeous, gorgeous good things in life. One of the things, my lovely Aries, that you might also get called is being very flighty. The reason for that being is all of my Aries sons, while they can be very passionate about something and throw their whole heart into it, once they get bored, they're like, okay, bye. And that can be anything. People, places, and things. So if you're a person, you're like, damn, they did just fucking drop me. Like I wasn't shit. They got bored. That sounds so bad. But that is part of being an Aries sun. You love the constant thrill. You love the constant chase, but always on your terms because, well, you reason that your way is the right way. There is no other option. For an Aries moon. The moon represents our deep, dark secrets, everything that is hidden, our relationship with our moms. It represents the deep emotions and it represents the unconscious mind. For those of you, my lovely hummingbirds, that have an Aries moon, you find yourself being a very, very passionate lover. You love trying new things. Everything that you do, you are going to make sure that it takes them to the moon and back. But you have a little bit of player tendency in you. You got a little hoe in you, and that's okay. It happens. We all go through it. Very brash when it comes to their decisions. Very passionate, but hyper independent. So when it comes to the way that like you view your emotions, especially deep emotions, it takes a lot for you to actually bring that forward and open up to someone because you're like, no, they're fine where they're at, locked away with me because I know how to handle them and I know how to take care of them and nobody else needs to know that because I might get bored with you in the next 3 weeks anyways, so bye. That is an Aries moon. For Aries Mercury, Mercury is the ruler of communication, intellect, and memory, essentially how we learn, retain, and then divulge information. So you know that one honest friend that you have? And not like your honest friend that like is compassionate and sweet. No, I mean like your one honest friend that is sometimes kind of a fucking bitch if you're completely honest and you're just like, I can't fucking stand you half the time, but damn, you give me good advice and you give me a perspective that like I didn't think about before. Might be very direct, might be a little ow, but it always just hits. They might have an Aries an Aries Mercury placement. For my Aries Venus. Venus is the planet of love and luxury, indulgences. It rolls over Taurus and Libra, which is somewhat ironic because, well, Libra is your detriment. However, when you have Aries and Venus, it's not necessarily that you don't feel love. Like, I'm not calling y'all heartless motherfuckers in this bitch. Like, that's not what I'm saying. The reason that you have such an issue with being in the sign of Venus is not just your player tendencies and your hyper independence and your like lack of tiptoeing. Like, you don't walk on eggshells. Like, if something's wrong, you're like, okay, this is the fucking situation. You hate mind games. Like, if the mind games are not leading you into the bedroom, you don't fucking want it. So the reason for you being imbalanced in Libra is because when you do fall, you fall hard. And not just do you fall hard often. You, my lovely Aries Venuses, are what I call I love you sluts. Respectfully. We've all been there. We've all done it. You know, everybody has their moments where, like, you meet the new love of your life every other week. That has been essentially your life. You love love, you love being in love, and since you love everything that is new, you thrive in the honeymoon phase, but it can often be very difficult for you to find balance to keep long-term and often also keep monogamous relationships. Now, my lovely hummingbirds, for your ruling planet of Mars, you thrive. If you have an Aries Mars in Aries, you thrive in this placement because not only are you confident, courageous, headstrong, determined, strong-willed, really a fucking go-getter, you are very internally motivated when you're balanced. When you're not balanced, you're impatient. There's a slight sense of like arrogance that can come up. You're very like, woe is me. Nothing goes right, even at like the smallest fucking inconvenience. But when you are balanced, you are literally the epitome of like what every person with anxiety and depression would love to do, which is having that internal like, I can do this shit and get it done in like one sit-in. That is you. If you have Mars in Aries, you are also very like, when you're good, when you're balanced, you're like, okay, I have like 12 projects. I got this. Will you complete all 12 of them? Probably not, but you will actually set up a plan to get the things that you need to get done, and you usually do it in a very timely manner because Mars is all about how you get shit done, and you are a fucking go-getter. For my Jupiter in Aries, you are the definition of physical adventure. For those of you that are not afraid to be leaders, to not have your best foot forward, to not have your face out there, you are innovators, you are inventors, you are world leaders for some. For others, you prefer the scenic route of life and you backpack throughout the world and see it and immerse yourself in multiple cultures, in languages, in learning everything that you can from life because you know that we have just one life and you love to travel because you're like, I will see every corner of the fucking earth before I leave it. Saturn in Aries. So Saturn, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is ruled by Capricorn, or Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Either way, Caps are known to be very hard-headed, very scratches in Capricorn rising, very hard-headed, very their way or the fucking highway, very like shit just needs to get fucking done or it will be everyone's problem. And that is literally how you operate when your Saturn is in Aries. Not only are you very hard-headed, very hot-headed, very temperamental, can be arrogant at times, especially when if you did not manage your time correctly, my lovely Aries, my lovely Saturn in Aries, you lose your shit. Because then every little fucking thing that happens, it's like a domino effect. But you have very strong will and very strong discipline that if you are able to confront, because Saturn in Aries can have, when imbalanced, this fear of being in power. Once you confront that fear and really acknowledge your leadership role, then you're gonna fucking thrive and it's really gonna be smooth sailing. I'm not going to say that you will essentially always be a leader that is loved, but definitely respected. And I don't know why I just saw you being like, that's right, respect me. Yelly shit, I love you. For all my Uranus in Aries placement, you are the go-getter of go-getters. What does that mean? It means not only do you see one thing, you see how that one thing can transform into 50 billion other things if the possibility finds itself there. You are an innovator, you are an inventor, but besides that, you also go against the status quo. You see what does not work, you look around and you're like, why is everyone just fucking okay with this? This is not okay. And you push hard hitting for things to change and to essentially fit the viewpoint that you deem is correct when it comes to the way that things should be operating, for whether it is the best socioeconomic standing, whether it is for social justice, whether it is for helping the planet, even laws, things of that nature. You are very like, no, this isn't working. It needs to change now. You also, for Uranus and Aries, you are very imaginative, very inventive, very creative, and can often, if imbalanced, get more so lost in the idea of something and how to change it versus actually taking the steps to change it. Just make sure that like when you are in those moments, ground yourself back to the present moment. The best way for you to do that, my lovely Aries, in general, is through physical exercise, physical movement of some kind, because as being ruler of the house of self, you are very about physical activity, stamina. Like, you need to be regulated in some way, shape, or form when it comes to movement. Neptune in Aries. Neptune in Aries placements. You are the definition of understanding what it means to leave a legacy in life and wanting to do exactly that. Intuitive individuals, but you don't lead strictly off of just intuition. You are very philosophical in nature. You ask all the questions. Why might be your favorite question. Very energetic, very charismatic. You are also very idealistic, oftentimes theologians. And when you make up your mind on something, you dive headfirst into that bitch, no matter what anybody else tells you. For my Pluto in Aries. Now, a little bit of like back history on why Pluto in Aries is oftentimes very chaotic. So Aries and Scorpio used to both share Mars, and then Pluto got discovered and then it took over Scorpio. But essentially, you don't do well in Pluto. For Aries and Pluto placements, while it is not a detriment sign, because Scorpio is a very intense sign and a sign of constant change and very, very emotional, also slightly vindictive at times, you kind of cling on to that because you in Pluto become very obsessive, very reactive. And since you are on a constant quest for the truth of whatever the situation is, growth and change to like grow and build yourself up, if someone goes against what like you feel, because Scorpio is a very intuitive sign. So if like you see something and it could have absolutely nothing to do with you, my lovely Aries, and you're just like, nah, they're lying to me. Why the fuck are they lying to me? Something's wrong with them. It must, like, you start essentially feeding the delulu. You start making patterns of something that is not there. You project it onto yourself, and then you project outward, and you go on the defensive. If you have Aries and Pluto, my loves, the best way to move forward is to actively remind yourself that like you can't take everything, really you can't take anything personal in life, because oftentimes the way that people react to us is a representation of themselves, not us. The best way for you to thrive within Aries and Pluto is a lot of internal work. The following are not planets but they are celestial bodies, celestial spaces. So we are going to cover them because I did cover them also in like the astrology, good to know, basics and all that stuff. So astrology 101 video that I did. Aries in Chiron. So Chiron is ruled by Virgo, and it is all about core wounds and how to heal them, our purpose in life, what it is that we're meant to do, because of like how we heal our core wounds. It's this whole rometta. For you, my lovely Aries, if you have your Chiron in Aries, it is all about self-mastery. And when I was like doing all this research, I don't know why I kept hearing jujitsu master in my head. Some of you might be jujitsu masters, or you might be in some form of martial arts or boxing, MMA, anything like that, because, well, you love physicality. But not only that, for you, my lovely Aries, that have your Aries and Chiron, you are all about, I stay in my own fucking lane. I am essentially, you are very of the mindset of, I am in competition with no one but the past versions of myself. For a lot of my Aries and Chiron, or Chiron and Aries. The other thing that I kept thinking of, because of the traits for Chiron and Aries placements, Chiron in Aries, you are very, how do I say this? Because I feel like I've just been grilling you this entire time. I know I mentioned it earlier, but especially if you have your Chiron in Aries, you are the best of the best when it comes to reading the room. But not only do you read the room, you also use what you read to your absolute advantage. And you can often be a master manipulator. You manipulate the situation. Now, being a manipulator of a situation or your environment is not always bad. But considering it is one of your core wounds, oftentimes you use it as a defense mechanism. Because for you, my lovely, lovely Chiron and Aries, you fight for the underdog. Not only do you have the ability to be an international super spy, because you are a chameleon due to that master manipulation, one of your core wounds can be, for a lot of you, that you were put down in life, abused, or bullied. And as you began to grow in life, you went to forms of, such as martial arts, to help not just build your body up, but also teach others how to properly defend themselves, how to, make sure that like they're not in a fucked up situation, or how to get out of one if they find themselves in one. You fight for the underdog, you fight for the little guy. The best way to really start working on those wounds, besides, yes, doing physical activity, you are going to have to dig deep within those emotions that you don't like letting out. And not particularly saying that you have to let them out to other people, but write them bitches down, set a bonfire, and then throw them in the fire, and you will feel so much better. Especially because fire is your element. And because my lovely Aries and Chiron, oh my god, I just got so like shaky. The actions that people took against you when you were a kid, especially if they were people that were supposed to protect you and be there and defend you, are not your fault. It is not your fault that you were a baby that could not defend themselves. It is not your fault that you were a kid that could not defend themselves. Okay? And I'm so very, very proud of you for choosing to live a life where you help others be the best version that they can be of themselves, and in turn also being able to have the capacity to defend themselves in difficult situations. For my Lilith in Aries, Lilith is ruled by Scorpio, and while you might not thrive in Pluto, not that you don't thrive in Lilith, but you're also slightly chaotic. Your libido is out the fucking wazoo. You love sex, but you also love it not just being passionately, but slightly aggressive. If you have your Lilith in Aries, it is more likely than not that you are a dom in the bedroom. You like it rough, you like it aggressive, you like to be assertive, you like to be in charge. You will win no matter what. And for some of you, because Lilith covers like not just sensuality, but also what cannot be repressed. And one of the things that like I got for you, my lovely Lilith in Aries, was also that you've been blessed by Medusa. And for those of you that don't know what that means, essentially is, so Medusa, a little bit of Greek mythos. Medusa was one of Aphrodite's priestesses for her temple. She was essentially raped in the temple. Aphrodite got pissed because the god that raped Medusa was like, she's more prettier than you, so she cursed her to have the snake head, and then, which essentially then turns people to stone and all this stuff, right, that look upon her beauty. When someone is blessed by Medusa, it often means that you have suffered abuse in a sexual manner, and that part of the reason why you are very dominant in the bedroom can also be because it is a defense mechanism to regain your power from moments where you felt it was ripped away from you. Because when it comes to sexual assault, like, everyone reacts differently, and your reaction to it might have been hypersexuality, especially dominance, so that no one could ever overpower you in that situation again. And if that happened, I am so, from the deepest parts of my soul, so very sorry, my lovely hummingbirds. I cannot tell you that healing as someone that has been blessed by Medusa. I am not going to sit here and tell you that it just magically goes away one day. I can tell you that help exists, resources exist, and there are many ways to continue on your journey of self-love and healing and understanding of yourself and your body in healthy ways. Not saying to any of my doms out there that have their Lilith and Aries, this is not that this happened to everybody. This is just a bit of a message that I channeled for some, not everyone. For all my doms that are just strictly doms, get it, kings, queens. For also my Aries and Lilith, this is essentially where the divine masculine of, like, I know that you hear that a lot in spirituality, divine feminine, divine masculine, but divine masculine thrives in Aries and Lilith. But yeah, now we're gonna go into the houses. As I stated, my lovely Aries, you rule over the first house, which is the house of self, but it is also commonly known as the rising sign. If you have your Aries as your rising, then you are well at home here. You thrive in being the sexy of the sexiest that exist. Why are you saying this, Monroe? Are none of the other rising signs sexy? Hell yeah, everybody's fine in their own way. However, Aries risings got the cheekbones, they have the eyes, they have the body, because they are very focused on keeping themselves to, like, the highest of high standards when it comes to first impressions. You're also very driven, very passionate, and your want to taste everything delicious in life really just keeps you moving forward. Aries in the second house. The second house is the house of value. It is ruled by Taurus and Venus. And here you thrive as long as you follow your passions. Because if your heart ain't in it, your money's not in it. And while you can thrive as long as you follow your passions, you also run the risk of being very impulsive when you see something, like you see a shiny new toy and you're like, oh my god, I want it, I gotta have it. You know, fucking Leo DiCaprio and Wolf of Wall Street, you give very eccentric, out of the box vibes to that degree when you're not balanced in your second house. For Aries in the third house, It is ruled by Mercury, which is all about communication. For my Aries in the 3rd house, you are very direct, very blunt, honest. Your honesty is not always covered in kindness. And you can often forget that people have feelings. Because in your mind, you're like, well, don't they want to know the truth? Sometimes people don't. And that is often where you're kind of like, what the fuck? Also, you find yourself to be very confrontational and defensive when someone is not approaching you in a way that you deem respectful. Also, my lovely Aries in the 3rd house, y'all some cocky ass charming motherfuckers. Y'all just out here with that, baby, I will talk you into anything that I want. That is the vibe for Aries in the 3rd house. For Aries in the 4th house, or the Imum Koeli, this is the house of family. It is ruled by the sign of Cancer. It is ruled by the moon. And, you know, stability is the name, providing is your game. You are the provider, not necessarily because just you're the leader and like you have emperor vibes, and while that does have a lot of impact into it, you like to be in charge and you like to make sure that your family is good. While you might not be the best at expressing love in this situation because you have a very firm way of doing things, you will provide. And that is your way of like expressing love. You're like, I won't hug you, wife, but I will make sure that you and the children never starve. Type of energy, fiercely loyal, fiercely independent, also aggressive, and can have a more assertive parenting style, more aggressive parenting styles. If not checked, you can become very, I don't want to say abusive, but the potential is there. Also, Aries in the 4th house have a lot of potential for crimes of passion, because if they feel disrespected or slighted and they just snap, especially if they're putting so much money and work and effort into a situation, a person, a family, it can get messy really quickly. Make sure that you always check yourself, check your emotions, keep open forms of communication, which is not the easiest, especially with your loved ones, with your wife, with your kids. For Aries in the 5th house, which is the house of pleasure. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. But hello? The 5th house is ruled by Leo, and it is ruled by the sun. And here, my lovely Aries, you thrive. Aries in the 5th house has very, I'm gonna put a baby in you or put a baby in me vibes. That is the energy for Aries in the 5th house. Also very passionate, very forthcoming, very playful, oftentimes not monogamous, because they want to taste and touch and fucking feel everything. Also, one of the things though, I'm like, speaking truth, one of the things though, for Aries in the 5th house is that like, you have to make sure that like, while yes, you love making and all that freaky, nasty, real kinky shit, make sure that you don't gain an imbalance by constantly trying to find joy externally, because with Aries in the 5th house, you always have to make sure that your joy is coming from within, so that then your sexcapades are more enjoyable, because you're not putting... Well, my lovely Aries, I don't really see you as being a person that's like, I need the opinion of others to thrive. Absolutely not. But if you are imbalanced with Aries in the 5th, you tend to hyperfixate on these relationships, these situationships, these sexcapades, to kind of fill a void within yourself, make sure that in order to fully feel the pleasure that you want to feel and give the performance of a lifetime that you know you can, make sure that you're fulfilling yourself first. Okay? And if you gotta self-stimulate to do that, then so be it, baby. For my Aries in the 6th house. The 6th house is the house of health, and it is ruled by Virgo and Mercury. Yes, Mercury rules over both Virgo and Gemini. I know. Gemini and Virgo are really just two sides of the same fucking coin. Which, like... yes and no. I can't really talk shit because I love me some Gemini and Virgos, but... I really do. It's a problem. With Aries in the 6th house, my darling, you kind of really struggle here because it is hard for you to find a balance between work and life. And here you can hyperfixate on projects, hyperfixate on your health, hyperfixate on the world around you, so much so to the point that you suffer from burnout. While you are very determined, very generous, very nurturing and honest and loving with Aries in the 6th, you also have not the tendency, but you also have the ability to be easily saddened and disappointed here. The best thing that I can say here, my lovely Aries, because you are so compassionate in this house, I need you to remember you can't expect you from everybody else. For Aries in the 7th house, and the 7th house is all about relationships. It is ruled by Libra, also ruled by Venus, and while you are very fiercely passionate, right? And like when you love someone, Aries, you are all in. You completely, however, want all of their attention on you at all times, because how dare you not pay attention to me? But how dare you not have a fucking life that you're just paying attention to me? It confuses people, baby. It confuses people. The 7th house is also known as the descendant. While you are very hot and heavy in the bedroom and sexy and potentially also have open relationships because it just seems easier for you, one of the little tidbits, which I have mentioned previously in this same video, I need you to remember, you hear that in the background? I need you to remember, my lovely Aries, people have emotions. And while you view your relationships as like, I don't want to say a means to an end because that seems kind of harsh, but you are capable of very easily separating yourself from the relationship. Not everyone has that ability to do it so easily. So just be a little considerate, be a little mindful, and just like you thrive off of that attention that your significant that your significant other gives you, they need it too. Reciprocate, okay? You know that reciprocity is key for things to work well. And if you want them to work well, reciprocate, okay? For my lovely, lovely Aries in the 8th house, are you okay? Like, genuinely, are you okay? I just want to hug you. And not to fuck. Get your minds out of the gutter. I just want to hug you and make sure that you're okay, because you are no stranger to pain. And for some of you, I don't know where the fuck that channeling little came from, but don't fucking use sex as a coping mechanism. Did we not cover this in the House of Pleasure? I need you to get comfortable with the people that you truly, genuinely trust, which is not easy for you, to open up or seek professional help. My Aries in the 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio and Pluto, it is essentially the house of transformation, which is all about Scorpio. Scorpio is all about transformation of like what already exists. But Aries, when you are there in the 8th house, because you are so adventurous, because you are so ever-changing, because you are such a go-getter, you perpetually live in a constant state of what feels like tower moments all the time. And you look and you're like, when can I get a fucking breather? One of the best things that you're going to have to do, my lovely, lovely Aries, if you have Aries in the 8th, is just simply accept that change will always be a constant in your life. And while you have known pain and gone through so many struggles and you're like, yeah, but I don't fucking bitch about it, I don't complain about it, you need to. You need to let it out. Because it's choking you, it's suffocating you, it's drowning you. And that explosion of when that buildup finally hits is not going to help you. You also have a tendency to overthink. I'm going to need you to do some deep breathing when that happens. And really just be like, okay, what am I over-analyzing of the situation and where is that coming from? Because more often than not, it can be linked to past traumatic experiences. Because you, my lovely Aries, in the 8th, have suffered from abuse, have suffered from bullying, have suffered from being placed in situations where you had no other choice but to be aggressive, because if you weren't aggressive, you weren't going to survive. I want you to know that you're safe, that it's okay now. Whoever this message is for, you are safe. You are no longer there. But now it is time for you to work with yourself and heal. Because that pain, you didn't deserve it. You don't deserve it. And you don't deserve to keep holding on to it like a fucking shield. Because you're like, well, at least I'm not bothering other people with it. Babe, please. You need to let it out, okay? Now, Aries in the 9th house. Aries in the 9th house. It is ruled by Jupiter and your fellow fire sign of Sagittarius. And here, you feel limitless. You feel like nothing can stop you. You thrive from lucky person syndrome. You are very committed to your beliefs, very stubborn. Your way or the highway kind of vibe. Make sure that you give people room to talk. Make sure you don't completely close yourself off to other beliefs, ways of thinking, and create a block for yourself from like the ability to communicate with others or grow in any way, shape, or form. Just done. That's it. That's the only tidbit there. Now, for the 10th house, the house of social status, the midheaven. This is the house ruled by Capricorn and Saturn. And here, my lovely Aries. Well, Aries are leaders. And if you're like, bitch, I don't feel like that, and you've been sitting here like she says I'm supposed to be a leader, but I hate being in the spotlight and all this shit. Check if not only do you have an Aries sun, but if you also have Aries in the 10th. Because here is where your giant debacle against being the leader comes. And the best tip of advice I can give you here, my lovely Aries, is simply this. You gotta get real comfy when not holding your greatness so close to the chest, letting it out, and embracing all of those ideas that you have to make the world a better place, to make your life a better place, to expand, to grow, to thrive, because you are meant to be in the spotlight. And the more you keep suppressing that, the more it's going to feel like nothing ever works out. While you like being away from the limelight, it's your job to be in it. For my Aries in the 11th house, this is the house of friendships. It is ruled by Aquarius and Uranus. Sorry, I rolled my eyes there a little bit. Why are you so scared to trust people, baby? So you literally radiate in The Great Gatsby, when she's telling fucking Spider-Man, she's like, hey, so Tobey Maguire, when she's like, hey, so, you know, I love big parties because they're so private, they're so intimate, which, like, honestly, same. But what's my 11th house? No, it's not that. I know what sign it is. Never mind. I was like, because I'm like, that's the whole mood. You know a lot of people. So for all my lovely hummingbirds watching, if you are that person that seems to have, like, I don't know for anyone watching if, like, you've seen the pictures of women that have, like, 20 to 30 bridesmaids, and you're like, ain't no fucking way. How do you have that many bridesmaids, right? I'm like, I got, like, 3 good friends, like, left. Especially after the spiritual journey. Like, what the fuck? Right? Bruh. How do you even know? Well, you probably have Aries in the 11th. Yay! Not really, though. Why are you so scared to let people in, motherfucker? I love you. What are you doing? So, Aries in the 11th house know a whole lot of people. Will have thousands of acquaintances. They will have, like, their select few as far as friends that they truly genuinely know them, but also it scares the fuck out of them, so they will ghost them perpetually and routinely. So it's like they'll see them and they'll be like, okay, goodbye, disappear out of their life for, like, months on end, go spend time with 15 million other friends, then come back and be like, hey, I missed you, I'm sorry, I was being a dickwad, but look all this fun adventure shit that I did to avoid having deep relationships. You love fiercely, you love passionately, but you also get bored very easily, and monotony is not your thing. The best thing that I can tell you, my lovely hummingbird, here is you really got to find somebody that can keep up to your pace, is the best thing I could say for that one. Now, my lovely Aries in the 12th house. 12th house is ruled by Pisces and Neptune, and here it is the house of sacrifice and self-undoing. For you, my lovely Aries in the 12th, you are like, your biggest issue is that you want it all, and you don't understand why you can't seem to have it all exactly when you want it. Aquí. The best thing that you need to do, my lovely hummingbird, is find your perfect schedule for time management to properly maneuver things, because I am a firm believer in, why can't I have it all? If I want the spiritual, mental, physical, financial, health, I should be able to have all of it, right? I am also of that mindset. You can definitely have it, but you have to make sure that you find a balance in time in between all of your endeavors to really still look within and be like, okay, why did I start this? Why am I doing this? And how can I keep going in a sufficient and self-care filled way where you're not going to bring yourself out, you're not going to fuck yourself over, because in this aspect you are very much a go-getter, but you don't always, like, no mides las consecuencias. You don't always see a fault in your actions or how it can go awry until you're, like, laid out and burnt out from trying to do everything at once. So, best tidbit there is find a schedule that works for you. And not just a schedule, but also work on saying no and setting good boundaries. Because one of the biggest struggles for you, my lovely Aries in the 12th, is setting a boundary and sticking to it. You will go to bat for everyone in your life before you go to bat for yourself. I need you to reevaluate that. Hi, my lovely hummingbirds. Yeah, so Selena outfit, not wearing it right now, but That's because I totally forgot about the nodal axis when I first recorded the video. And I was like editing and everything, and I was like, oh shit. So the nodal axis is essentially the way we live and why, how we live, all that shit. All that good shit of our being and our existence. It consists of the north and south nodes. Now, if your north node is in Aries, then your south node is in Libra, and vice versa. So north node Libra, south node Aries. For the north node in Aries, the north node essentially handles karma and what we need to do in this life to get ahead. And the south node is everything that comes naturally to us. I laugh because my south node's in Taurus, so like, but my so yeah, jokes aside, so if you have your north node in Aries, what that means is in order to fulfill your life purpose, in order to feel fulfilled in life in general, your biggest struggle is going to revolve around codependency and a fear of being independent, a fear of moving forward in life, a fear of change for some of you. And it also strongly has to do with like sensations over a lack in our own abilities, doubt in our capacity. The way that you're gonna be able to move forward is really exiting the comfort zone, exiting the things that like are your go-to on the day-to-day, and really pushing forward on the things that you might have been procrastinating on, putting off because you don't feel ready or you don't feel good enough for, or like, for example, you see a super cute outfit and you're like, oh my god, bitch, like I could never wear that. Yes, the fuck you can. Okay, because you have one life and it is your life, my lovely north node in Aries, to live. And honestly, moving through life fearlessly and embracing everything that an Aries sun is what's gonna help push you forward. Now, in the inverse to my south node in Aries, baby, the thing that you're gonna struggle with is hyper independence. And I just heard hypervigilance for some of you. You probably are very of the mindset of, well, if I don't fucking do it, it's not gonna get done the right way. Well, if it's not up to me, then no one's gonna do this. You need to get out of your head and get a little more into your heart. That is going to be the way that you fulfill your life purpose in this life, is putting love back into the situation, finding group activities that you're good at and that others can keep up with you in order for you to not feel the sensation of like unnecessary, and I can't even say competition because it's not even that. Some competition might be healthy for your ass. It would be more so if it can be done by just you will find a way to do it. No, you need to start really opening your heart up and taking other people's emotions into account. And once you do that, like, and don't say, well, people that take, because I just heard, well, that's how you get stepped on. Nobody's gonna step on you, my lovely south node in Aries, okay? No one's gonna step on you, but you do have to open up and be a little more considerate and compassionate of other people's emotions. Okay, that's my little blurb. I love you. Enjoy the rest of it. Bye. Okay, my lovely hummingbirds, that's the full deep dive breakdown of all things Aries. Stick around. After this, we are going to do an Aries reading. And of course, we're going to do an extended on OnlyFans since this is already 18 plus because, oh, my sexy, sexy Aries, you just love getting physical. Anyways, happy birthday again. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope it resonated with y'all. I hope you enjoyed the reading. But if you don't want to stick around for the reading, and this is where you're leaving me, as always, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos. Y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna, sending you much peace, many kisses, and reminding you to always look up at the moon. I love y'all all so much. Catch me tomorrow for a review that we're going to do here on Pop Culture. And yeah, that's it. Okay, I love you. Have a good one. Bye. Hello, my lovely hummingbirds, and welcome to your reading. Happy birthday out to all my lovely Aries. But today's tarot deck is the Ask Yourself Tarot. Love this deck. It is beautiful. It does not do reversals, so we won't be taking any reversals today. We're just going to take whatever the message is that you need to hear. Or we might take a reversal. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. This one doesn't really do it, so we'll see what the messages are. I hope you enjoyed the Aries breakdown video. If you're like, bitch, I saw you in this outfit already. Yeah, I know. I usually kind of, put on the outfits and then I'll do a recording and I'm like, damn, am I going to use it for this one too? And the universe is like, yeah. And they're like, nah. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And so you get this outfit. But we're just going to do a quick little reading today. We're going to see where you're at, your biggest obstacle, where you're headed. Interesting. Aries, y'all, good. So your overall message here is the Tower in reverse with the Ace of Swords in reverse. Essentially what is happening here, and I'm taking this reversal on this one. I know I said I wasn't going to take them, but like, okay, so my lovely hummingbirds, this is your reading here. So essentially with the Tower card and the Ace of Swords in reverse, my lovely, lovely Aries, you cannot stop what is coming. You cannot stop what is coming, especially in this really big shift that we've had right now. There is no detaining it. Stop. I know Tower moments are scary. I know sudden change is scary. But it's okay to allow yourself to move forward. It is okay to allow this to come in. Where you currently find yourself is the Queen of Swords and the World, which is not a bad thing. It essentially means in this deck specifically, you made a life-altering decision and you have seen the bounty of it. You have seen the fruitfulness of it. However, you did not have your heart in that situation is the vibe that I'm getting from it. It ended up being not what you expected. You acted very heartlessly. It was all very calculated, and while it was successful at the time for what it was, it didn't give you what you really wanted. And it's okay to let go, but it is not okay to isolate yourself. With the Hermit and the Two of Wands as your obstacle cards, sorry, Three of Wands. I don't know why I said Two of Wands. I'm getting that very like you made a really life-altering decision and like it didn't pan out the way that you expected it to. Don't isolate yourself. Do not lock yourself away and hide away from the world thinking that like that's what will make it better. It's not. You are going to have to confront the situation and use your judgment and discernment, because essentially the Moon card in traditional tarot, what it represents is secrets coming to light. They're coming. They are coming out, and the best thing that you can do for yourself, my lovely hummingbirds, is own up to your shit. Own up to what you did. Own up to what happened. And know that you are going to be successful in the end. There are good things coming for you, but don't doubt your intuition and don't keep holding on to something or someone that is not actually meant for you. If the universe said no, it's okay to let go. Don't let outside forces influence you negatively, and pay attention closely, because like the vibe I'm getting is you surrounded yourself with people that, well, pretended to be your friend, but they had their own hidden agenda when it comes to this person. I'm getting it was a person you were involved in. Some of you might have hit that wedding altar or been close to it. But it's time. It's time to move on. It's time to let it go. I love you. Your energy feels real heavy. I don't know who the fuck is trying to block me, but my throat is hurting right now. It's gonna be okay. But allow yourself to feel all of this. Because you need to. There's lessons in this. It is okay to actually love. And it is okay to let yourself fall for someone you actually care about, not just what they can do for you material wise and physically. There's more to it than just that. And you gotta let this person go, because if you don't let them go, it's not gonna be good. We're gonna get some advice cards, because that was fucking heavy. Ooh, that was heavy. I don't like that. And I don't like this energy you're in. This is not you. This is not you. Yeah. I'm like putting the cards away. Hierophant in reverse, Temperance, Strength card, and Ace of Cups in reverse. Four of Cups in reverse. Like, you were not emotionally fulfilled. Not because you didn't see the potential in this person. You definitely did. You saw a hella potential, but there was a point where like, where you realize they don't love you. Not in the way you want someone to. And the universe is telling you it's okay. You have to walk away. It's not even an okay, it's you have to. You have to, because the only person that's going to keep getting hurt in this situation is you, mainly. And you have to let go. This calculating bitch, essentially, that you've been led to believe is you, is not really you. You're not a hurtful person. You're not a mean person. You're not a sadistic fucking person. You are not a person that is meant to cause pain. You are meant to experience love too. But love does not come from the manipulation of another person, nor their assets, nor their mental health, nor their stability, nor their free will. In order to really move forward and be happy and achieve good things for yourself and great things for yourself, you're gonna have to let go of them and people whispering in your fucking ear. You got snakes in your life, baby. And you really do. And they ain't here for you. They want them to. Alright. God, spirit, angels, ancestors, divine beings, holy guides. What can we tell my lovely, lovely Aries bunch here? What is it that they need to know? What is some advice that they need? What is some advice that they need? Vice. And there was a big emphasis on vice. Be careful. Okay, if you are going out with these people that are like telling you all this shit about this person, but they're also supposed to be this person's friend, this person is not your friend. They're not their friend either. They want them, but yeah, they're blocking you. They got you stuck in some shadow shit. Okay, I'm getting a picture here. I'm getting a picture. Wow. I mean, the outcome is beautiful so far, what I'm getting, so. That's so cute. Okay. 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 So, my lovely, lovely hummingbirds. This is your reading. Okay, I just want to say this. And I need you to really, really hear me. Okay? Really hear me right now. In the journey, because the soulmate card came out, in the journey of twin flames, in the journey of soulmates, divine counterparts, we collectively, those that are on the twin flame journey, run into other twins and other soulmates out there, and if they are not for us, become their karmics, become their false twins, and it becomes toxic, and it becomes hurtful to all parties involved. Trust me on that one. I've done it. I've been a false twin. I've been a karmic with people that I thought were, and like my TV just fucking turned on confirmation for whatever that is, but I thought they were my twins for a hot minute and they weren't. And that shit bit me in the ass because the energy that I was in was not my highest potential. I was actually vibrating real fucking low, and that's where you're at right now. I did not expect this to become a love reading, but the fact that I said I was gonna do a spicy one afterwards should have been a hint. But I was just thinking, you know, because you're an Aries and you're fiery and like you like right? But I did not think this was gonna be a whole fucking twin flame karmic soulmate cycle shit. You are this person that you're concerned with. You're their karmic. And this is not a position I would think I would find myself in. I did not think I would have to tell you this. I am so sorry. By the way, in case you didn't get it from the first half of this video, this is for all Aries, sun, moon, rising, whatever. Wherever you got your Aries, in those specifically, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and I'm getting, if you have it anywhere in your chart, which by the way, not everybody has every single zodiac sign in their charts. I just have to say that. Some of us don't have it in any part of our charts. Don't know who that's for, but if it resonates, cool. I'm gonna go turn off my CV. And I'm back! Hi! Ooh, sorry about that. As I was saying, you're their karmic. And they are yours. And that's why this hurts so fucking bad. You are in a place right now where you have unlocked your shadow, and trust me, you will get through it. Because literally, those are your first two cards, shadow and trust. You have to trust that there's more for you than this. You have to trust that there is more for you than this relationship. There might have been a plan. Your family might have made a plan for you. But it's time for you to take a hold and make your own plan. And move forward. Let them go. And don't pay attention to people whispering in your ear X, Y, and fucking Z, because they're not you. I'm getting a few people, but two real specific are like just popping up in my fucking head. Please Please don't listen to them. They do not have your best interests in mind. You, my lovely hummingbird, are a divine being. You are so beautiful in your own fucking right. You are growing. You have grown. And you have experienced so much, but there is so much more for you to experience still. With air and shift, because of Queen of Swords, I'm getting... You might also have heavy air signs. I'm getting Aquarius vibes. I'm getting... I mean, we are in the age of Aquarius, so it makes sense that air and shift and Aquarius and all that's popping up, because as your advice for your obstacle, you have to allow yourself to communicate things properly, to watch where it is that you are receiving information from, and allow the shift to happen within yourself. Nobody wants to go through the dark night of the soul, believe me. But the outcome of it is worth it. And you got your soulmate, your actual fucking soulmate, your actual twin, your actual divine counterpart on the other end of this. This relationship ending is not the end of the world. And you letting them go freely, your guides will actually fucking congratulate you and be like, bitch, about damn time, because they got some shit to do. You're blocking somebody else's twin flame journey. And you're blocking your own, and you're blocking the person that's actually meant from you from coming in, and that relationship is so beautiful. Oh my god, it's so fucking beautiful. It's literally peace. It is peace and beauty and everything that you've ever wanted, and it's so warm and just joy. It's incredible. But first, you're gonna have to let go. You're gonna have to really sit. I know I said we were gonna do some spicy shit for the extended, because we are gonna do an extended reading. It is gonna be on the spicy site, but I want to see what we're gonna see what comes up for it, but I definitely want to take a look at like career moves for you, and like other shit that you can do to like keep it flowing, and what's gonna bring you and your person into union after like you release, because they're coming in. You probably already met them. They might be close to this person that you were with. Crazy, but they might at least know of each other. But you gotta let go. That's it for you, my lovely Aries. I have no idea how this ended up being that kind of reading. I am so sorry. I know that's not something you want to hear. If this did not resonate with you, then this was not for you. But if it hit, I hope you go to the extended and purchase it and all that good stuff. But if this is where you are leaving me, my lovely hummingbirds, as always, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos, y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna, sending you much peace, many kisses, and reminding you to always look up at the moon. I love you all so much. I will catch you on the next one. And yeah, that's it. Okay, I love you. Bye.